Tonight, renewed chieftaincy clashes in Gbenyiri in the Savannah region leave trail of destruction with 9 dead and 29 others fighting for their lives, and dozens more flee the troubled area to neighboring Ivory Coast for safety.
But today, a number of bodies have just been brought to the hospital as of now, and with so many people injured.
We'll be live on the ground for update on an emergency security council meeting underway in the Savannah region here on Top Story. And Top Story, as always, is brought to you by Telecel Connecting Energies and also by Shield Pension Trust. Into the future with you. My name is Samuel Kojo Brace. Now, in the heart of the Savannah region, the peaceful farming community of Gbenyiri has been shattered by violence. Renewed chieftaincy clashes have claimed 9 lives, leaving 29 others fighting for their lives. The roots of the conflict run deep, fueled by a long-standing land dispute that has pitted neighbors against neighbors. Now, as the sounds of gunfire and screams still echo, many residents have abandoned their homes, seeking safety in the surrounding farmlands or across the border in Côte d'Ivoire. The once peaceful village of Gbenyiri now hangs in limbo as the wounds of the past continue to bleed. And here's Eyewitness Jima Joseph, who spoke with correspondent Isaac Nonya.
We saw people running helter-skelter because of the fight that erupted at Gbenyiri. So I took time to also run away. Fortunately, where I reside is closer to the police station. I saw women and children just lying down on the floor crying. It was an eyesore. I couldn't take it anymore, so I also went off the scene. It was very pathetic yesterday at the police station when I saw women and children carrying their babies. Others were crying. I can't even say it.
Were they men among them?
There were no men. All the men fled, leaving their wives and children. And that's one thing that touched my heart that I pray should never happen. So we all plead that we should have peace in Punjalani and also in the entire Uganda.
Well, speaking to Joy Business before heading into a dissect meeting, DC for Sola, Tuna Kalba, Saka Sikina said many of the towns have been abandoned and they are struggling to provide temporary shelters for those displaced.
I can say Ivory relatively calm. As of today, a number of bodies have just been brought to the hospital as of now, and with so many people injured.
When you say a number of bodies have been brought, how many bodies have been brought?
Yesterday, 5 bodies was brought. Some are buried. Today, 3 bodies have been brought now. 1 is also on the way coming.
So you have 9. Do we know how many are dead and how many are injured?
Currently, 9 are confirmed officially, but the injury situation is about between those confirmed at the hospital are about 21 injured, some in serious condition, some in a stable condition.
We do understand that some of the residents have fled the area.
A lot of people are fleeing. Some have taken refuge at the police station. Some are in their various farms. Some are traveling, leaving the town. Most of the towns are ghost towns now, but majority are in the bushes, their farms. Others are crossing to Côte d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, and what have you. In fact, the incident is happening in a place, the epicenter is a place that is more or less to the Côte d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso area there.
So how many are displaced in your estimation?
You cannot tell, because they are not all at one place. But if you go to the police station, as I speak to you, there are a number of people stranded there. They are just there. We don't even know where we are going to house them. We are just entering for a dissect meeting where a decision will be taken.
Well, so this conflict, we understand, is being fought by a long-standing land dispute that has paged neighbors against neighbors. And you have the DC for the area, Saka Sikina, telling us, a lot more about the impact of this particular happening there. Let's take you live now to the ground for more. And our Savannah region correspondent, Isaac Nonya, is joining us on the telephone line now. Isaac, what is the situation in Gbenyiri as we speak?
Gbenyiri remains tense as we speak because residents who are there have left the place and they are at the police station. The other area like Kalba is also similar. because security is also detailed at the palace. What I can confirm now is that 6 people were arrested last night and detained at the Solar police station here, with some ammunition seized from them. That is currently briefing RESEC about their mandate and what they were able to do, and also to tell them the detail of the beginning or the trigger of this incident.
So, aside the 8, has there been fresh arrests?
Aside the 6, there has not been any other arrest because, all along we didn't know how many people were arrested. Today, through that, I just confirmed that 6 people have been arrested with some ammunition taken from them. I saw a 4-member delegation sent by the Yagbawura of the kingdom, the Kunutun Jewusoli, who came to the district and to announce their presence, saying that they are actually in the district to examine and to mediate for peace based on what Yagbawura told them to come and do. Aside that, we initially preempted that this matter was going to escalate to other adjoining communities and districts. Surely so. 3 communities into Solar Township, all communities that are known to be the other faction have all deserted. You won't see a single fowl or human being around. All the doors closed. Now, if you get to Solar Town, areas, localities that you see people or you used to know for the other faction to be residing, they have all vacated. And they are the police station now. The number of the police station, children and women, are more than 100. That's only Solar alone. We don't know those at Bole where they will be. The figure we gave regarding the death toll, the DC account he gave, the additional 3 is true. They just brought them from somewhere Dante after Bole. That's the 3. Now the Solipe Kura, 3 were shot. 1 dead and 2 others injured. They are currently at the hospital as we speak now. Now, Gbenyiri itself is a ghost town. Gbenyiri is just 3 to 4 kilometers to Côte d'Ivoire, very close. And Kalba is close to 7 kilometers to Côte d'Ivoire. So the easy way to the man who escaped, is to go to Côte d'Ivoire. And that's where they are now. Because coming back to Solar will be a long, long journey. And they have to do that through the bush. But the crossover to Côte d'Ivoire was very, very short for them. And many of them are in Côte d'Ivoire. And the few who could run faster are also in the south of Burkina Faso. Because if you pass through Chache, Waka, you go to Chache and you cross over to Burkina Faso. And that's another easy route.
Okay. So as you said, the Security Council is in a meeting. Do we have any, information about the concrete steps they want to take to get this matter resolved?
One, the information I picked is that they want to grant bail to the 6 people arrested. They will keep the ammunition, and they will bring 2 sureties for them to be granted bail. Secondly, they will meet all the parties, and they will also meet the traditional rulers over here to see how they will mediate and call the civil factions to lay down their truths for a proper mediation to take place. For now, we also told the rest will be meeting the king of Gonjaland later tomorrow. Apart from that, the security personnel in the adjoining district where the thing started, they have already briefed DASEC, and that's what is happening now. You see a couple of known faces within the security services that are all here, including Nadmo. But Nadmo asked Nadmo security director as to what they did for the displaced people. But he yet to give me an answer. I know the briefing will be done after the meeting between DASEC and RESEC this evening.
Okay. All right. I'm grateful to you, Isaac Nonya. There he is our correspondent in the Savannah region there. Now, thankfully, we've been joined by the MP for Solar, Kalba Tuna, which is the area within which Gbenyiri is. And Andrew Dari Chewete is joining us on the phone lines. I'm grateful to you, sir, for joining. Now, you have been monitoring event at Gbenyiri. What briefing have you been provided with so far?
Good evening so much, sir. I think your reporter gave the exact situation that is on the ground. The issue is not even about Gbenyiri now. It has escalated up to Bole as well. Like the reporter indicated, or the DC also mentioned, Even the last 3 bodies that were brought in were brought from the Bole Bamboy constituency. And so it's not just even a matter of Gbenyiri. As for Solar Tona Kalba, like your reporter said, the situation is dire now. You see, yesterday evening, when the military came in, they succeeded immediately in calming down the situation a bit. But the whole thing started again this morning. And now it's like fire burning. You hear this community is under siege. You speak to the security officers. They get there, and then you hear about another community. And it's like at a point we had guys moving on motorbikes. And so they just get into the community, they shoot at people, and they take off. And so that is what is making the situation very difficult to manage. And so it's quite complicated. It's quite dire. What we need now is to have the IGP move his men there immediately. In fact, I spoke with the IGP a couple of minutes ago, and he assured me they were going to give us security. But for me, I see it to be delaying. It's delaying because it's more than 24 hours. We kept getting the assurances. Well, the regional police commander, I equally spoke with him. For him, I have been speaking with him almost every 30 minutes. I speak with him. There is the promises. The security men we have on the ground, I cannot say they are enough because Solar district is a very scattered district. And so we really need so many security men so that we are able to control the situation. So for me, what I am asking for now is more security men on the ground. Then we should provide them with vehicles because the army, for instance, in Kalba, it is very difficult for them to move about. So while we are deploying the security officers, we should ensure that we give them the logistics so that they are able to move, to be able to solve the problem that we want them to come and solve for us.
The army is not able to move because they don't have vehicles?
The army, they do not have vehicles. They came with the armor cars, all right, I'm told. But they do not have other vehicles so that if their situation somewhere, they can quickly move in. Yeah.
Okay, but have you reached out to your colleague MP, who is the Minister of Interior, to find out what he can do from his end to help?
Unfortunately, the Minister of Interior is not in town, but I spoke with him. I called him via WhatsApp. He couldn't, but when he saw he sent me a message. I also responded. So we communicated, all right. As of yesterday, when I communicated with him, that it was not long, and then we got the signal that they had moved some police officers from the nearby district to Solar to beef up security. And so he has been responsive. Like I said, fortunately, myself and the Attorney General, we also met, we talked, we spoke with myself and the Attorney General, we spoke with the IG, and then he gave the assurances before myself and the IG that they were going to send in more troops. And so whoever that matters in terms of security has been contacted.
Now, once this is emanating or being forwarded by a long-standing land dispute, and you know this area very well and how things must be handled, how can we end these, issues, these conflicts that come as a result of land dispute? What must happen?
I really don't know whether I should accept that statement that it's been a long-standing land dispute.
Okay.
I don't think that is the case because this one is just about somebody's plot in Gbenyiri that created the issue. So if we put it that way, it looks like there has been a long-standing land dispute between Gonjes and Brefor or Gonjes and Lobis or whatever. No, that's not the situation.
Okay.
It happens to be something between two people. Yes. It's unfortunate that it has escalated to this level. We didn't expect it to go this far. Unfortunately, it has happened.
These two people is over land issue or not?
Yes, it's over land issue. But if we say that it's a long-standing something, it will look like, I don't know.
Okay.
But we only have to be careful. You see, I have granted interviews to other media houses, and I told them, Solatuna Kalba is not a developed district. It's one of the constituencies that we still need to do a lot of investment.
Okay, all right.
We have
So
what we are doing. We should not be killing one another because of land. We should not be killing one another to survive. No.
Okay, all right.
What we need now is that we are fortunate. Our own son, President Mama, is the president now. We should be lobbying him to put development to our area.
I'm grateful to you, sir, that the MP for the area, Sola Kalba Tuna Andrew Dari Chiwete. Let me bring in Zakaria Mahama, who's the acting regional NADMO director. I'm grateful to you, sir, for joining. Now, what's your preliminary assessment of those who have been displaced, and what are you doing to help?
Yes, thank you very much for the opportunity. We in NADMO have been following the story since yesterday. We are also preparing towards the spillage of the Bagri Dam, and so I have been very busy with my officers across the region. And so when this matter came up yesterday, we were torn in between stopping our preparation towards the spillage of the Bagri Dam and then moving to Solatuna Kalba to attend to this particular situation. But I got back to Sola yesterday in the late afternoon. And then we assessed the situation, but moving to the place was very risky because the place was still volatile, so we couldn't get there. But there was information that many of the people moved to Sola police station, and some too were moved to the Sola district hospital. And then there's a private facility, Friends Clinic. There were some other people there who had fled their communities to those places. So far, we have been able to record over 130 people who some are at the police station, some are at the hospital, some too are at the other private health facility in town. I mean, Solar Town.
So these 130 people are injured or people who have been displaced?
No, people who have been displaced,
Okay.
not injured. I mean, just seeking safe havens. They think that those places were safe for them to move, women, children, and some young men. As for majority of the elderly men, they have fled into the bush, and some of them you can't even trace. So I've communicated to my headquarters, and we've been given assurance that some assistance will come for us to see how we can support them. Since the situation is getting more worse and worse, because as my honorable MP said, you go to attend to this community and the next thing you hear about a different community. So it's becoming very difficult to manage. So we would only urge our compatriots to give peace a chance, and to also call on the security agencies to bring in more security so that at least we can reduce or mitigate the effects of this complex situation we find ourselves.
But as you wait for head office to bring in some support, what's the plan to ensure that food and water are provided to the displaced?
Yes, right now I had a discussion with the Honorable DC of the area and my NADMO director, so that we see how immediately we can get some support for the displaced people whilst we wait for the support that will come from Accra. So we are on the ground. We are with the people right now as we speak. I am in a meeting with both DISEC and RESEC are in a joint meeting, and then the outcome of the meeting perhaps will give us certain direction to go.
We're just a few minutes to 6. We don't know whether we'll be able to provide them support in terms of water and food.
Yes, as I said, right now the DC himself and the coordinator, everybody is in the meeting. So it is only after the meeting that we'll see the way forward and the kind of support we can provide them for now. But as you said, issues of water and places to sleep and those petty things, I think we should be able to sort that out whilst we wait for support outside.
Zakaria, I'm grateful to you for speaking to us. Zakaria Mahama is Acting Regional NADMO Director for the Savannah region. Let's now bring in someone who understands security of this country very well to help us know what must be done. Professor Kwesi is a security consultant. Prof, what must be done in this particular instance? We are told that it's now moved from one community to several. What should we do?
Well, it's not so much as what we should do as first an understanding of the dynamic inherent in it. You know, I heard the MP say, oh, but it's not a long-standing conflict. It's only two people who had a land issue and the thing happened. It means it's not about land conflict between two people. Okay, so he has got it totally wrong. The second is the NADMO man who is afraid to commit. I mean, when you say things like give peace a chance, peace is common good. Okay, so two very important people who should be having a better grasp and handle of how to present options for understanding. And when we understand, that will help us determine the type of resources that we need to deal with the conflict. I'm looking at it totally wrongly. But of course, I mean, it's not their fault. Maybe they don't deal with it or they need to be dealing. But there is a fundamental issue in this country that we need to tackle. That is, people think they can take the law and challenge the authority of the state. Okay, if and when we have a state present and those who are representing the state are efficient and effective in the delivery of that public service, that is security. Look, it shouldn't strike people to take the law into their hands. It shouldn't strike people to say, my cousin and I are fighting over a piece of land. We will not go to the appropriate institution. We will use guns that are available, easily purchasable, start fighting, and then people on the sideline think that, look, this is great fun. I may be able to lose, so let me also do it. Okay, so the fundamental point is, where are the institutions representing the Republic of Ghana in both areas? And that ought to be bringing peace, preventing people from taking the law into their own hands. And when they are ready, punishing them, whether it's self-defense or terror. All this excuse and for things, I simply don't mind. Truly. This is going to get much worse. Not only in where we are talking about, but in other parts of the country. Because those who are supposed to be preventing, degrading, and bringing about the peace simply are just waffling and are not giving us the assurance that they are up to the task.
So in this case, who must be the one, once we know that, as you say, the MP and the NADMO director have not been able to give us that what we're looking for? Who must be the one taking charge of this and making sure that this is brought to an end?
I don't know. My job is to explain the conflict. But when the MP said, I have written to the minister, why should they get to the minister? There is a regional minister. There is an MC. There's a regional security council. There's a district security council. Act 10 says, which is the Security and Intelligence Agencies Act, is very specific in terms of how early warning data might be gathered. The Signals Act 10.4 is very clear about how the requisite intelligence and security agencies must be brought together to respond during periods of crisis. So where are all those people paid for with the taxpayers' money and who ought to be doing their job? This thing about always waiting for Accra to issue instructions before people who are the frontline officers act is totally unacceptable. If you can do the job, don't pass it on to the minister. Because the minister, who is a representative of the president, also has his representative across all the ministries, departments, and agencies in all these areas. We like to push the court and look for excuses.
Okay, but the MP also talks about resources, that even the military underground do not have other vehicles to move around. Maybe that's a challenge that they are being confronted with. How do we...
Really?
That's what he says.
Really? You know what? Either there's something fundamentally wrong in our assessment of what the threat that we are facing as a nation, or we play politics with everything. If the Regional Security Council has failed to assess the potential level of threat and written the appropriate reports for those who are there to be resourced to be able to prevent and resist any such threat, then people in authority over there have failed. I can assure you that if the military or the contingents located in this area have written to Accra that we have or we need X number of vehicles to be able to do the job, I will be surprised if the armed force will not provide.
So if you were to consult for government on what it must do in this current circumstance, what would you tell government to do?
I won't consult for government.
But if you have to help us know what we must do, what would you say?
Ask the UN to ask me to do. At least I know my payment will be they will come on time and without anybody asking me to give him 10% of the payment.
Prof, as both men say, these are dire times and we need solutions.
These are dire times that have developed over the last 20, 30, 40 years. They haven't happened overnight. It's a consistent and repeated failure, both of institutions and individual leadership. These times are not different from the previous time. We simply love excuses.
Okay. I'm grateful to you, Professor Gbenyiri. He is a security consultant, and has been Top Story, brought to you by Telecel Connected Energies. Newsnight is up next.